Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. And guess what? It's Thanksgiving week and we have got to celebrate. We have had a great time decorating for the holidays. And tonight's the last night before we eat the big turkey and all of that fun stuff. It'll be a short live tonight. I will be very honest and say I have had a brutal headache, but I did not want to not go live tonight because I'm always excited to be with you. And I have had a lot of new people join from yesterday to today. So if you're new and you're watching, tell me, how did you find out about it? How about me and the group and everything? Let me know there. And welcome, welcome. And so glad to see you. And everybody knows I get all excited. I love doing what I do. So, what have we been talking about? We have had, and I kept some of my projects right here. So, we have had our clay that we did out of leaves. We've had our name cards that we've done. We have our menu that we made. And then last week I did the frame and we had puff. And this I wanted to show you. So I took this leaf. I thought that I love the way that the vines show in that one. So this was the next one. So I took that one leaf and in Leonardo, the software that I was using for the cutter, I did tile array and multiplied so that I had rows of those leaves. With those rows, I just scooched it together to where each leaf just slightly touched. Then I did the second row and smooched it up to where it touched the third row and the fourth row. You get the picture, right? So that they're all slightly touching. I selected all of those leaves and I hit weld. So that way I just had a bunch of leaves connecting. Then I needed a border. So I took a square and I did an offset or a contour of that square to create a little bit of a margin. So then I had two squares, select both of those, and then I subtracted or remove front, depending on slice, depending on what machine that you have, what terminology. So then I had a square border. I made my leaves touch the border and selected all of that and hit weld. So it sounded complicated. It really isn't. So one leaf, and I did 4 across and 4 down so that it made a square, had them all slightly touch, select everything, hit weld. So that way they're all welded together. Then I did a square with an offset that made 2 squares, select both of them and remove front. That way it just gave me a border. Make the leaves touch the border. And then look, this is what we got. And it took me, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 minutes to kind of create that. And that was me deciding on my size. So you can see that it was that same leaf that I used last week with the puff. And I multiplied and created. So here I have 4 across and I have 4 down. There is my border. I made the leaves touch the border and voila, I have it. So what is this going to be? And hey, it's so good to see. Hi, Marianne. Hey, Reen. Thanks for joining. Hey, Liz. Hope everything's going great. Hey, Amy. I hope you're feeling much better. And I hope things are going well. So this is exactly the first one. So I created that. Then I just took my image and shrunk it down and created this. So if you want the file, I'll be glad to put it in. So Stephanie says group under files. Just let me know if you want it and I'll throw that in there. So what am I going to do with these things? A couple things that we could do. So I am thinking about, how am I going to set the dishes? What different things? And, we always like having a pad underneath them, right? But sometimes they're not the prettiest pads. We have all of my pot holders and everything. They're not fit for company to ever see. Some of them look like, a serial killer has been there because of the stains from spaghetti sauce and everything else. And then we make cute mug rugs, but then they don't always match exactly. And we're thinking, you know, I want a leaf, but I don't want to. So this, like I said, it took me about 3 to 4 minutes to create the file and then cut it. Funny story, I was on the phone and I told it to cut, and it went through all the motions of cutting, and it took a little bit. I looked over at it. Guess what I did not have in place? A blade. I had taken the blade out because I was doing a Zoom and I had showed the blade and just set it down. So I absolutely forgot. So June, I am so glad to see you. I see you on replay all the time, but I'm glad you're here live. Jennifer, thank you so much. My haircut is new and adorable. Thank you. It should have looked a little bit cuter. I should have looked a little bit cuter, but I took a call at about 6:05 and I got hung up and I didn't run downstairs and do my normal, you know, freshen up. So I have this fleece, and with that fleece, I'm going to press this onto it. So then I have a little heat pad that I can put underneath my dishes, put under there. So I'm just going to lay that on there and press. Hello, Tammy. Good to see you. Thanks for the compliments. I hope everybody's having a good one. And then we'll see how this looks. And this was just a piece of fleece that I had around. So look. And this was the label that was on my vinyl. No big deal. I'm going to let this cool just a little, and then we're going to pull that off. And I'm again using gold metal. Well, right here, I have a non-stick cover sheet because that's important. So you can see I have that laying down. And then what is this that I have? Some bridal tulle. The reason that I want that non-stick cover sheet to be down on my press, when I put this bridal tulle down and I press this, some of the adhesive is going to go through those holes and it would stick to my bottom platen. So that's why I want that. So how many of you have ever used bridal tulle and heat transfer? You know I will. So I'm going to show first. Everybody says, are you scared you're going to melt it? Well, no, I'm not. Me, scared? Never, never. So I'm just going to heat press that because, you know, it's all wadded up and it's wrinkled. That way. And I'm just going to cut. You know, I'm doing this on a live with scissors, just kind of willy-nilly. Just need to cut some of it to give me a starting point for my heat press. If my friend Teresa is watching, she'll be pleased how I just gouged that all up. But we'll fix it later. So now let's press again. And I'm going to press this to that netting. So what you could do, I have one that I was making long for the table runner, but it's kind of hard to show that long project. So I have a long one, and this is going to be for my placemats. So that way it just lays underneath. And I have it a little bit bigger than my press, so I'm going to press twice. And that way you can see how cute it's going to look. So while that one's pressing, I'm going to just cut. And let's move that up. And remember, I want to keep that Teflon sheet underneath it because that adhesive will stick because it's going to go through that mesh. And I'm just kind of doing a quick little cut. I'll straighten this up a little more with my rotary after we get done. And cut. So that way you can kind of see. Now that it's cooled, let me Let's trim that other side just a smidge real quick. So is everybody ready for the holidays? Turkeys are brining. I know Ron's downstairs. I probably have craft twine because I couldn't find the other to do the legs. So even with cooking, some of my craft projects are there. And let's take this off. Look how decorative. So that way I have that fleece, and then if I set something down, you know, obviously heat transfer is used to some heat. Now I'm not going to put a bowl and pot, but remember I've got pumpkins and I have some of those types of things that I'm using as my serving dishes. So look how pretty that's going to look underneath my little pumpkin and my big pumpkins. And then this, we're going to let this cool for just a moment. And obviously I'm going to have to straighten up some edges. So I'll do that a little bit while we're waiting for that to cool down. So the reason that I'll go ahead and tell my secrets. I like to wrap, when you get like somebody a gift basket, you need something to wrap it with. Well, I had wrapped it with some tulle just because we know it's so forgiving and it's easy to pull and tug on it. So I had just wrapped a present with some tulle, and I was thinking that it needed something like some polka dots or something on it because it was kind of bland. So I threw it under the heat press to see would it melt. It did not. So since it didn't melt, voila, I put some polka dots on that tulle. And some of you have seen my Audrey Hepburn jacket. The same kind of thing. I knew that tulle would hold up underneath the heat press. So this is cooled down. So let's see what it's going to look like. And this tulle that I'm using is a pale pink. And I'm pulling this off, and then I will probably press this one more time just to get it to lay down from that adhesive. But first we're going to get the cover sheet off of it. I am so loving this, and I didn't make one beforehand, so this is all live and everything. You can tell it's sticking. Thanks, Libby. Oh my gosh, I am so in love with this. This may have to be part of a denim jacket. Look. And how pretty that's going to look on the table because it looks so see-through. Okay, y'all, I even impress myself every now and then. But I love that. So let's see let's look at that. I'll have to take a picture. But I am absolutely loving the whole theme of this. So one leaf inspired that whole project. So I absolutely love that. And I think it's going to look so pretty on the table. And it does. It looks like it's see-through because you can't see that tulle. It blends in so nicely. So that's what I was going to say. This tulle is actually a very blush pink. I like the blush when I'm sewing and using it in projects better than the white because I feel like it does kind of blend in. So you can see my t-shirt's obviously very white, and that blush just really blends nicely. It blends. The table that I'm sitting it on right now is a wood grain, and that wood grain is, it shows through. So I'm going to scooch and get. So here's the tablecloth that started this whole process. So this will be another piece. What do we think? So this could be sitting, because you know you have your sideboard and you have different things that are laying. So this one is going to be a long runner that will run down the length of our buffet table, whatever you call it. So tell me what you think. We love it, right? It's great because I love it this time. I really do. And I'll take a picture to let you see how it all comes out. So here is my mini version. Now let me know if you want this in the files, and I will save it and throw it into the files in the group. So you'll have to go over to So Stephanie Says group if you're not there. If you're on YouTube or if you're on my page, make sure to go to the group and I will put those in there. And for those that are new that are watching, welcome and glad that you're here. Like I said, it was going to be short because I've had a raging headache, but I didn't want to let us down. I wanted to finish that project that we'd been working on. And next Tuesday, guess what? We're going to be getting ready for Christmas. So it's going to be Christmas crafts all month long. Maybe some winter things, maybe some, you know, it's not going to just be Santa and ho, ho, ho. We've got the whole month of December as different holidays to celebrate. So hopefully you'll join me next Tuesday and we'll get started. Some of you are going to be joining me this Saturday, and I'm having an in-person event, and we're going to be stitching and doing embroidery all day long. So I can't wait to see everybody. And of course, we'll post some pictures so that you can see what our projects were. Of course, I will always try to remember to post, but luckily I have some peeps that they do a good job trying to remind me. So everybody, thank you so much for being here. Like I said, I know it's quick, but we made some amazing things in that short amount of time. So y'all have a great week and have a very happy Thanksgiving. Those that have family coming, hug them tighter. Those that have friends, hug them tighter. And those that don't have anywhere, come on over. I will always open my door for you. Everybody have a blessed week, and I will see y'all next Tuesday. Bye, gang.